It's a Jeep thing. Let's see if we can understand. Apparently it has some lights on. Oops, not this Jeep. I'm clicking the button and this one's beeping. So let's go get in this one. I think it's the same thing, a compass, right? Yep. Let's see if this one has some lights on. Bought a scan tool. It's kind of wet outside today. Oops. Usually these have ABS, track, four-wheel drive, and engine lights on. It's like they come from the factory like that. We got the right Jeep. Oh, we got an engine light anyways. So that's good. Check gas cap. It says change gas cap or change oil. Check gas cap. Door ajar. So that's what it's telling us. Oh boy, I can't fit. Hang on. Oh, manual slider. Survey says, of course, EVAP problem because, like I said, we got the gas cap light, we got the engine light. So EVAP small leak, so maybe a purge valve or actual leak or ESM switch. ABS, we've got left rear wheel speed sensor, erratic, left rear tone ring, and then of course implausible data from the four-wheel drive model. It's interesting because our four-wheel drive light's not on. However, if it's typical Jeep fashion, turn the wipers on here. Let's just take her for a little rip down the road. I'm sure if that speed sensor is missing the magnet like they usually are, our light will come on very quickly. Anything coming? No, sir. Let's see what happens. See if anything happens. Got a little graph up here for us. Maybe it's an intermittent problem she was having or something. Pretty smooth there. Usually if the magnet's broke, it's, well, I mean, usually it'll throw a light almost immediately. So maybe we'll just look in on that rear wheel, see what it looks like. I thought she said that she had a bunch of lights on. I'll have to double check with the customer and see. I'll take it for a little rip here around the big road. I don't see any anomalies here quite yet. Back to the shop. Nothing bizarre happened with the ABS four-wheel drive lights. I pulled up some data here. We're going to see EVAP wise if we can get a little bit of data from the driver's seat. So what we expect to see is, well, just what happened. The ESM switch, we can't put it on the graph, just went closed during a purge cycle. So it's pulling vacuum in the tank. The switch back there closed under vacuum. This is not a commanded switch. This is a yes, I have vacuum in the tank switch. So what I want to see, get our purge to kick up there pretty good. Of course, the gas cap light is on. So I don't know what that. I'm just stating facts at this point. I want to see how long it stays closed. I mean, if there's no leak, it should stay closed for a while. So we're going to shut the key off, key on. Oh, it instantly came back open. So there is a pretty big leak in the system because that should have stayed closed for some time. You know, I'd say at least, 30 seconds to a minute. I mean, it's pretty, it's not freezing cold outside. It's probably in the 40s out. It's raining. But we'll let that purge kick on one more time here. It takes it a minute here, and then once the purge kicks on, like I said, you should see the switch go closed. If you don't, you either have a really massive leak or possibly a bad switch or a crappy scan tool. For the longest time, Altel was insanely unreliable on the ESM switch or the NVLD switch status on Chryslers. It appears to be working now, which is amazing. So let's see what we can see. Let's see if we may even just have a bad purge valve, or maybe the gas cap's missing or something silly, but yeah, it goes open pretty quick, so we obviously have a relatively good sized leak. So it's a 2016 Jeep Compass. I assume the big 2.4. Oh yeah, it's got the dual VVT, whatever that means. It's got it. And it's got the PO 456. So buttoned up underwear. what this thing made out of. I don't know if we need to take that off, but usually you do. Let's find some components. We have a gas line right here. So that's good. You need one of them. And then we should have a purge valve hanging out here somewhere. It's probably inaccessible. Looks like probably that's the vacuum hose for the booster. Where's the other fuel line here that runs up from the bottom? Let's get a flashlight. Let's see if the fuel line runs there. You'd think the other one ran right with it. Yes, sir. And that goes down around, and the purge valve's all the way down here below the booster. Yuck. Yuck, I say. And then the hose runs around town over here to the intake somewhere. So, not a real gravy job to get to. I just wanted to see if it was leaking. Prior to doing that, I guess, because that's a little bit more work than I want to put into it. Let's go have a little quick look at the gas cap. Just for grins and giggles, just to make sure. I doubt it's never the gas cap, folks. Let's just see. Okay, so you play it that way. What we got here, folks? Rust around the cap. Typical. Not real terrible, though. I gave the gas cap the old neck polisher. Plug the hole off, use your noodle when you do that. You don't want sparks back there, more than likely. I got the engine speed duty cycle for the purge and the ESIM switch. Let's start it up here and see if we made any improvement. Same thing as before. I guess I'll get around here so you guys look you in the eyes. So we're gonna let the purge turn on. Eventually it'll turn on. Let the ESIM switch go closed, and then we'll shut the key and we'll let it pull purge for a minute or so. And then we'll shut the key off, turn it back on, and see if it can hold any longer. Like I say, a returnless system. I don't know how much gas is in it. Let's see if it's going to close. Yeah, instantly went closed. Very quickly that time. As soon as that first turned on, it went closed. It's got almost a full tank. It's got 3/4 of the tank. It's highly unusual for somebody dropping their car off at a repair shop. Usually it's on empty or a little bit below. So we'll let this purge for a little bit. But I guess what I was getting at is there's not a lot of room in that tank. So if the fuel is volatile, which it should be a little bit, we've been driving around, but it is returnless, so as that fuel heats up, it's going to displace the vacuum. It's going to go from a negative pressure to a positive pressure pretty quick. But you guys seen before, when we shut the key off, turn it back on, that switch would go open almost instantly. So I've been purging for a little bit here. Switch is closed. Car's off, keys on. Oh, look at that, the switch is still closed. So there's still a vacuum in the tank right now. Keys on, so we're key on, engine off. And eventually that's gonna come back open because, like say, the fuel's volatile and it's gonna, heat up and achieve a pressure. There it goes, so it just opened. So we definitely made a big change just by cleaning up the gas cap. I don't do enough Chryslers or pay attention to enough of them. Certainly do enough of them. I don't pay attention enough of them to know the rate of decay. So I guess we could probably keep going here a little bit. So if we come underneath it here, we can see right by the front wheel, right up above the sway bar, you see where that hose hooks on. That's the purge valve. So we can unhook the hose from it to make sure it doesn't have a small leak in it, which it's very, very common on Chryslers. Okay. Now the lines here are pretty straightforward. They're nice and clean. I don't think they use any rubber connections on these anymore. And we come back here and there's your canister. So this white valve over here, that's your ESIM switch. What's ESIM stand for? Emission System Integrity Monitor, I think it is. Because the NVLD works similar, but that's your natural vacuum leak detection. This is your ESIM switch. These quite often are bad and they're quite inexpensive. So if you're just guessing and heaving parts at it, heave one of those things and you'll get it most of the time. Let's just check to see if that purge valve is junk. which they typically are. Usually they're drawing vacuum when they're not supposed to be. And that'll cause a decay, key on, engine off. And then what we can do, if we want to make sure the system's sealed, we can just pinch off the hose here and then hook up the Avoca smoker. So we'll set this right here. I've got our vacuum gauge. Well, let's see, I had her dangling off here. I plugged it in. So we'll set it right here. And we shouldn't have any vacuum on it until it turns that purge on. So let me just reach in here and start it up. Stand by. Just be sure it purges at 0. And our vacuum gauge is sitting at 0, so that's good. These Chrysler purge valves are very temperamental. So that's still at 0. And that's still at 0. So I tell us our purge valve is good, which is great. And eventually we're going to watch that. It should pop right up here as soon as the purge turns on. There it goes, it just turned on. It's starting to build some vacuum, as you can see. It's only running about 19%. Alright, so that's good. Alright, well at least we know it's not leaking. And the other way to know it's not leaking is, key on, or I just shutting the vehicle off, rather. It maintains the vacuum, where it was at. So that tells us our purge valve is good, or at least it is in the moment. The Avoca smoker. Follow the hose all the way up here. And we just hooked it to the EVAP line. So the line that was hooked to that purge. So now we're filling the whole, system full of smoke, which you can see starting to drizzle down back here. Smoke and drizzle. We're gonna pinch off this hose here, so let's go get a pincher. If you're scared to pinch the hose, just unhook the hose and put a cap over it. I like to break as few things as possible working on cars, if I can avoid breaking stuff. So we're just gonna pinch it with your classic pair of pinch off pliers / needle nose vice grips. And then we're gonna let the system, I think we got some smoky up top, folks. It's leaking right out of our gas hole, baby. Gosh, we cleaned that sucker pretty good too. Must be the cap itself is junk. Well, I'll be dipped. You hardly ever see a bad gas cap, despite the hundreds that they sell at the Advance Auto. I don't know, the smoke is slowing down. Maybe I thought the fresh air ended right there. Yeah, maybe it was just some residual. We'll give the Avoca smoker some time here. We'll see where the floaty ball ends up. It's pretty bouncy right now. We'll see what happens. There's a pretty good amount of smoke coming right up here. You see it coming out of the rear bumper cover here? You don't see much underneath here. Most everything on these things is plastic, but I'm thinking we better set it down and double check the gas hole, baby. Because our fresh air vent just ends right here, so there's no other hoses running up there. So it's pretty much all it can be. Is the filler neck itself and or the gas cap, because the filler neck could be rotting out of it too. Oh, I was gonna say I hear some hissing. Well, I'll be dipped. Look at that. When you know, huh? Despite the fine job we did cleaning it, I pushed down on it. I still hear it hissing. Well, look at that, huh? Oh, how tight it dinged up. Must be the clicker on it's bad. All right, well, let's get Cap from Napper here, and we'll go eat some lunch and see if we can fix it that way. Napper showed up, 703-189-4, tethered gas cap, in stock. Napper just dropped the tethered cord here thing. Oh, jeez, man, I can't hang on to nothing today. Comes with a rubber band. Set that to the side. It's already got the built-in tether. Right there, gas cap on a string. Take it off there. Wiggle that out of there. Set it somewhere. Probably the only guy on the internet making a video on how to change a gas cap. Okay, well let's go get the smoker turned on. Yeah, she's coming through there. Oh, there's, that's what I'm talking about, boys. All right, we're good. It's all tethered up. Smoke machine's on, no more smoke coming out. It's got the cord on it. Perfect. Let's see where our floaty ball's at. All the way to the bottom. And then it's turned on. We'll turn it back on. Yep, so the floaty ball's at the bottom of our flow gauge. So our system is perfectly sealed now. Should be happy. So we'll turn that off and unhook all our stuff. Let's unhook this. Oh man, yeah, the old Avoca smoke took a spill off a car the other day, and now she's a little bent up. Kind of pulled it apart here a little bit, but it still works, so that's good. And if you guys are wondering how I hooked up to that purge valve hose, the Easy Connect kit here. It's the smoke machine quick connector kit. All right, I think Redline makes them, right? Yeah, Redline detection. So I use this one the most, and the other one I use the most is the one that doesn't come with the kit. It's this size here. I don't know what size it is exactly. I think it's for Fords, because I remember I took a purge valve and I busted it off, and then I made my own little adapter hose, but it comes with quite a few different little adapters for hooking into these purge systems. Some, you know, they make it so you could tee in. I don't know why that would be necessary, but there's 4 different tees, and then of course 4 different straight hookups when you include the one I put in there. And it comes with some rubber caps and stuff, but it's a nice little bit of kit. Oh, I better put that back in there. 5 comes with 5 different things. 4. So there's that. I just stick it back in the box. Part number is a 9060190. In case you want to buy one. Contact. Okay, everything's hooked back up. Make sure you get your pliers back. And then let's get our scan tool fired up here. Oh, look at that. We left it right on the screen we needed it on. We'll wait for the purge to open again. It should slam our switch shut because we know that works. And then we can get an idea of the level of decay. Let's see if there's another pit in here I want. Nope, not seeing what I want to see. So we'll have to give it a minute here. Okay, there we go. It just started to purge. I don't know if you guys can see it. The switch went closed. Alright, so we'll give that a little bit of time. We'll suck the fumes out of there. Bring out our wheel here. Let me move you guys a little bit. I did not know that this system had a fuel tank pressure sensor on it. I didn't think they used them on these. So let's see, we want it to be like what, -3. Okay, let's go shut the vehicle off and key on it. Keys back on. So the switch is closed. We can watch our decay. I don't know how many inches of water the ESIM switch closes at. It must be around that, you know, -2, whatever it was running at there. Well, I guess we can figure it out because we can watch how many inches of water it's at exactly when it opens, and we can determine that. You can find that in service data also. I mean, it's nothing that's hidden. But if I were to go yank the cap off, you know, we would watch it, boop, you know, pop back up real quick. But we know the system's sealed, so hopefully this gives you guys somewhat of an idea. Of course, this is always variable depending on how hot the fuel is in the tank, how fast it comes back. But clearly the system is sealed, as we already proved with the Avoca smoker. Well, I was gonna sit here and wait. We're not gonna. We can see the system sealed. Its decay rate is quite slow, despite only having 26% of it into air in there. So that's it. We're done. Show's over. So that's it, folks. Not a big lesson on how the Chrysler ESUM systems work and how that switch back there naturally seals off the system without any wires. It's not a solenoid. It's a pressure differential and weight. It's a very low pressure that it seals the system at. And the switch is still closed at negative 0.75 inches of water. So that's good. So it's been some time, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes sitting here and still remained closed. So I think our guy over NGK Wells, Mike, Go Tech Garage, I think he has some videos. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I know he does, on Chrysler ESUM systems and their NVLB systems. If you don't know how they work, they're kind of a pain in the neck to to diagnose. If you have access to factory service data, Stellantis in this case, Stellantis, I think that's how they say it, or even back when it was Tech Authority, whatever, Chrysler actually has some good videos on diagnosing these with lots of good tips in there too. I'd show them to you, but I think it's probably illegal for me to download them and then re-upload them to the general public, considering we have to pay thousands of dollars to get them. But anyhow, they're not a terribly difficult system, really. You've got your purge valve, your canister, and then your ESUM switch. So kind of, I think Honda uses a similar system. Ford uses a similar system with their natural vacuum leak detection. They're all kind of the same, but yeah, she's still closed at half an inch of water there, 0.44. So anyhow, oh, it just opened. It just opened. There's your magic number. All right, I think maybe it was open when I showed you. Who knows? But whatever. It's closed or it's open. Let's close out this video by you going in that comment section. Questions, comments, concerns, Insta, Facebook. You guys know what to do. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.